Assalamu alaikum students, hope you are doing great. Okay, so this is the first video of chapter number 8 percentages. It belongs to your book D1, right? The page number is 192. Today we are going to do exercise 8A of your book, question number 1. Okay, so let me tell you what you have to do in this question. The question says that express each of the following percentages as a fraction. It means that in this question you have given percentage. Why? Because we know that whenever the number has a symbol, this symbol is basically known as for this represents percentage. This symbol basically represents percentage. So whenever this symbol is present with any number, it means that the number is basically a percentage of some data, right? It is a percentage of some data, or it is a percentage if this symbol is present with any of the number. So keep in mind that whenever you have percentage in maths, then this symbol is going to be used with that. Okay, this is the first thing. Now, in this question, what you have to do, you have to represent the percentage into fraction or into ratio, right? So, what you need to do, let me tell you how you can convert a percentage into a fraction, right? The percentage that is given to me in part A is 28%. The very first thing, the very first step is to divide the percentage by 100. This is the very important step. Whenever you are given the percentage and you want to convert it into fraction, what is a fraction? A fraction is in the form of, we can say it is any number that is upon, in the form of upon, P upon Q. That is known as a fraction. This is what we call a fraction or a rational number. So we have to convert the percentage into a fraction. So the most important step in order to do it is to divide the number by 100. Let me tell you how you can do this. Let's have a solution of 28%. Okay. So in order to find the solution or convert this 28% into a fraction or a ratio, what you need to do, divide the number 28. This number 28 will be divided by 100. Okay. Now, this is not the only solution for it. 28 upon 100 is just the first step. Then in the next step, you are going to see is the ratio can be, is the fraction can be simplified, and how we can find it out. We can see both the numbers in the numerator and the denominator, right? Look at this. In numerator you have 28 and in the denominator you have 100. So we need to see that either these both numbers can be cancelled by any of the factor. Is there any common factor between them? If we talk about 28 and 100, so definitely both the numbers can be divided by 2 or they can be divided by 4. I can cancel both the numbers 28 and 100 by 4 and 2. So whenever you have two numbers to cancel a fraction, so keep in mind that you are going to cancel with the highest number, right? I have 2 and 4. Both the numbers can cancel 28 upon 100. And when I have two numbers, so I am going to prefer the highest one. I will take 4 and I will cancel 28 upon 100 by 4. Okay, so let me cancel it. In the table of 4, 28 is going to come 7 times. 4 multiplied by 7 is 28. So 4 sevens are 28. I have written 7. And in the table of 4, 100 comes 25 times, or I can say that 5 multiplied by 25 is 100. So I can cancel it by 25. Okay, so now the answer is, after cancellation, the answer becomes 7 upon 25. This is how you are going to simplify a fraction. In order to simplify, you have to see that either my fraction is cancelled by by any of the factor or not. If it is cancelled, then you have to cancel it and simplify it till the end. Okay, then after getting the answer 7 upon 25, you have to see that is there any number that cancels both the numbers? Is there any common factor of 7 and 25? The same way. So there is no number that can cancel 7 and 25. There is no number like this. Why? Because 7 is a prime number, and in the table of 7 you are not going to get 25, right? So you cannot cancel this particular fraction. So it means you can simply write 28% is equals to 7 upon 25 in terms of fraction. So this is the answer of your part A. You have to write this answer like this. I hope you are getting my point. Now let me move towards part B in order to make this concept clear to you. Let me do part B for you. Okay, in part B I have 158%. Okay, this is 158%. Now what you need to do, the very first thing or the very first step is to divide the number by 100. Okay, so in order to divide the number by 100, you just need to write 100 in the denominator. So it is 158 divided by 100. Now you are going to see that is this particular fraction can be simplified or not. If it is simplified, then simplify the given fraction. In the second step, you have to simplify the given fraction. Now we know that 158 and 100 can be divided by, they can be cancelled by 2. And if I talk about 4, let me see that 158 can be cancelled by 4 or no, not. Let me see that because I know that 100 can be cancelled by 4 by 25. 4 25 is 100. Let me talk about 158. Then 4 threes are 12. You have 338. No, 38 is not going to come in the table of 4. So it means that it cannot be cancelled by 4. Let me cancel both the even numbers by 2. Let me cancel it by 2. So 2 50s are 100. And what about 158? 2 sevens are 14. 1 will be here. And then 2 nines are 18. I hope I am doing it correct. 2 sevens are 14, and then you have a carry 1, and then it will be 2 nines are 18. So 2 multiply 2, if I cancel 158 upon 100 by 2, I'll get 79 divided by 50. This is my fraction. Now I need to see that if this fraction is cancelled or is divided by a common factor again or not. If it cannot be cancelled again, then this is supposed to be your answer. If you cannot further cancel it by a number, then this fraction is going to be your answer. So you can simply write that the percentage given to me, 158%, is equals to 79 upon 50. This is going to be your answer. Okay, class, now let me do part C for you. Okay, in part C, I am given a number that is a decimal number, 12.4%. It is not a whole number, it is not an integer, it is a decimal number. So we need to see that how we can convert a percentage that is given to me in decimal into a fraction. I have to convert it into fraction. So here you are not supposed to, okay, let me do it the same way. First of all, in the first step, divide the number by 100. Divided by 100. So when I'm going to divide the number by 100, I can write 12.4 upon 100. Now keep in mind that you have a decimal number. So in the decimal number, what you need to do, your second step must be, in the second step, you have to move the decimal point point at the end of a number. What it means that in the numerator I have 12.4, and if I want to move this decimal at the end of the number, I need to count that how many times I am going to shift this decimal. Since I am having only one number, it means I am going to shift this decimal only one time, right? This is very important. I am again repeating, if you are dealing with a decimal number, so the first step will be divided by 100, and in the second step you have to move your decimal point to the end of the number. This is very important. Why? Because we want to convert this decimal into an integer. I want to convert this decimal number into an integer so that the calculation can be easier, can become easier, right? So what I have to see, just look at the number. I'm doing it again. Look at the number. This is 12.4. If I want to just move this decimal to the end, I have to calculate how many times I'm going to jump it, how many times I'm going to move this decimal in order to place it at the end. Since I'm having only one number 4, then I'm going to shift this decimal only one time. Okay, so keep in mind that how many times you are just moving the decimal to the end, you have to add that number of zeros in the denominator. Add the number of zeros in the denominator. Add the number of zeros in the denominator by calculating the number of times you are shifting the decimal. You have to add the number of zeros in the denominator. How many times you are shifting the decimal? You are shifting the decimal one time, so you have to add one zero. The number of times you are shifting the decimal, you have to add that number of zeros in your denominator. So let me write it again, 12.4 upon 100. In the second step, you have to move this decimal to the end. So just count it down that how many times you are shifting it. You are only shifting it one time in order to move it to the last. You are moving the decimal point only one time. So it is 124 upon, now this is not 100, you have to change it. I said that you have to add the number of zeros that corresponds to the number of times you have shifted the decimal. If the decimal is shifted only one time, you have to add one zero in the denominator, right? So if it is 100, now you are going to write 100, 10. You are going to add 10 extra. Why? Because you have shifted this decimal from here and that was shifted one time. So due to this one time, you have to add 10 in your denominator. Now keep in mind, let's suppose if I have a number that is 1, 2, 4, 3. I'm just taking an example and our decimal point is over here. So the first step will be divided by 100, and in the next step what you have to do, just shift this decimal two times in order to make it an integer. You have to make the numerator an integer. So in order to do this, you have to shift the decimal point to the end of the number. So how many times you are supposed to shift the decimal? You have to shift it two times. It means when you are going to shift it, numerator becomes 1, 2, 4, 3. And according to the rule, you have to add two zeros now. Why? Because you have shifted the decimal two times. Since you are shifting it two times, so you have to add two zeros in 100. So keep in mind the number of times you are shifting the decimal, you have to add that number of zeros in the denominator. Right? So I hope it is clear to you. Now just forget this example. It is just for your understanding. Come back to the question. The question says that I have 124 upon 1000. Now what you need to do, you have to cancel this number. Let me see that if this number can be cancelled by 4. Yes, it can be cancelled by 4. And I can cancel it like this. 4 threes are 12 and 4 ones are 4, right? Similarly, if I talk about 1000, then Divide 1000 by 4. Um, 4 twos are 8, 2 0, 4 fives are 20, and then again this 0, 4 zeros are 0. So it means in the table of 4, 1000 comes 250 times. Or you can say that 4 multiplied by 250 is 1000. So in this way, your answer is going to be 31 divided by 250. Since 31 is a prime number, so you cannot further cancel this particular fraction, right? You have to write it like this. This is going to be your answer. The question was 12.4%, right? And in terms of fraction, it is equals to 31 upon 250. This is going to be your answer. I hope this concept is clear to you. I am again repeating, in decimal numbers, the first step is to add 100 in the denominator. In the first step, you have to add 100 in the denominator. Look at this, 12.4 divided by 100. And in the second step, you have to shift the decimal to the end of the number and count it down that how many times you are shifting the decimal. If you are shifting it one time, then add only 10 in the denominator. Like this, 12.4. I have shifted this decimal only one time in order to move it till the end. So one time means that I have to add only 10 in the denominator. So the denominator is having 100 previously. It is having 100. So in order to make the numerator 124, I have to add 10 in the denominator. So it becomes 1000. Right? This is the second step. Count down that how many times you are shifting the decimal and then add that number of zeros in the denominator. Now simplify the fraction in the third step. In this step, you have simplified the fraction. Okay, so this is how you can convert a decimal percentage into a fraction. I hope it is understandable. Now let me move towards the fourth part. That is part D. In part D, I am having a mixed fraction. This is a mixed fraction or a mixed number in terms of percentage, and I have to convert it into fraction. Right? I need to convert it into fraction. Keep in mind that the percentage means that you have to divide the number. If you have percentage symbol, then it means you have to divide the number by 100. Divide by 100. Okay, but first of all, here in this question, you have a mixed number. So we know that in order to convert, first of all, we have to convert this mixed number into proper fraction. You have to convert this mixed number into a proper fraction in order to solve it. This is going to be the first step. Whenever you have a mixed number, just convert it into a proper fraction. And I hope you know that how you can convert it into proper fraction. Just do it like this. 5 multiply by 6 and then add the number with 3. So 5 6 are 30. 30 plus 3 upon 5. This is going to be 33 upon 5. Now this is in terms of percentage. You know that it is a percentage. So you have to convert 33 upon 5% into a fraction. So keep in mind now what you have to do after converting it into a proper fraction, the step is going to be same. Divided by 100. But keep in mind that here in the denominator you have 5, right? So if you want to add 100 in the denominator, you need to multiply it with 5. Why? Because we have already a number that is present in the denominator. So if I want to divide the number by 100, I have to write it in multiplication with the given number present in denominator already. Okay, 5 was already present and I wanted to divide the number by 100. So I need to multiply it with 5. Multiply 100 with the number present in the denominator. Keep in mind whenever you have any denominator, then you have to multiply 100 with the denominator. Right? In this way, you can divide the given number by 100. This is how you can divide a fraction by 100. Just multiply it with the denominator present. Now it is 33 upon 5 multiplied by 100 is 500. Let me see that if it can be cancelled by the table of 3. 500, 33. If I cancel 33 by 3, it is 11. And if I cancel 500 by 3, then 3 ones are 3, 2, 0, 3 6 are 18, then 2 0. 20 cannot be cancelled by 3. It means 500 does not come in the table of 3. You cannot cancel 500 by 3. So it means I think this is going to be your answer. You cannot further simplify the fraction. So whenever the simplification cannot be done, then you can simply write it your answer. If you cannot simplify the fraction, just write it your answer. So this is equals to 6, 3 upon 5%. This percentage is converted into fraction, that is 33 upon 500. I hope question number 1 is clear to you. Thank you so much for watching the video. And if you have any query, any question, just write it down in the comment below. Thank you. Take care. Allah Hafiz. And please follow the videos. In the next video, I'm going to do question number 2. Thank you.